brain team, troubleshooters, or problem solvers on questions that could not be solved. I said, "Fine, go ahead. About your resignations." Mel said something indistinguishable. I'd caught him on a bite of steak. Hazel, belligerent, demanded, "Are you asking us to resign?" Apparently I wasn't. So they stuck, and another crisis was met. Unfortunately, by then, I'd forgotten the shock and warning I got from the cat. Things moved swiftly, more easily. The GG took over, becoming, in effect, my staff. They'd become more. 5 different extensions of me, each capable of acting correctly. As a team, they meshed beautifully. Too beautifully, at one point. Dex and Hazel were seeing eye to eye, even in the dark, and I worried about the effect on the others. I might as well have worried about the effect of a light bulb on the sun. They married, or some such, refused time off, and the GG functioned, if anything, better. It was almost indecent the way the 5 got along together. A new problem arose: temperature. We weren't reproducing actual temperatures, but the rooms needed a marked change for reality's sake. I'd insisted on that, and having won the point, was stuck with it. It was after 2 a.m. I was alone in the office. The sound of the outer door closing startled me. Footsteps approached. I hurried to clean my desk, sweeping the bottle into the drawer. "You're up too late. Go home." Frank had a non-arguable look in her eye. "You're supposed to be getting sleep." "I am. Far more than before you guys began helping, but with all that extra sleep, you're looking worse." "I don't need any more sleep," I said angrily, then tried diversion. "Been on a date?" "Yes, but I thought I'd better check on you." She moved close to the desk, and I remembered the last time we'd been alone, in the bar. Now I was glad I wasn't drunk. "What the devil are you up to?" She pawed through the desk drawers, finding what you tried to hide. "Wait, Frank!" I yelled, too late. She looked at the bottle, then me, with a strange expression. A little pity, not patronizing, but mostly feminine understanding. "Soda pop?" "Of course. You don't like alcohol, do you?" "No," gruffly. Her eyes blinked rapidly as though holding back tears. "I know what's the matter with you. I really know. There's nothing the matter with me that beating this mess won't solve." We hadn't heard Mel enter. He leaned casually against the door. "Terrific idea for a story." I shrugged. "Seems to be homecoming night." "Not quite." He glanced at his watch. "But wait another few minutes." He was right. Harry, out of breath, was the last of the GG to arrive. "Now what?" I asked. "Surely this meeting isn't an accident." Dex said thoughtfully, "No, not really. But it is in the sense you mean. We did agree to appear tonight, yet, logically, it's time for the temperature problem. Well, I guess each of us came down to help." What could I do? That was the GG, characteristically. So we talked temperatures. "What I was thinking," Harry began slowly, "was a sort of super thermostat." Harry, as usual, came to the right starting point. Frank smiled. "That's right, especially considering layout. Venus and Mercury are hot, the others cold. What about a control console that'll light when the rooms get outside normal temperature range? Then the operator—" "Hey, why an operator?" Mel questioned. "We ought to make this automatic." He grinned. "Giant computer. Can you see it now? The brain comes alive, tries to destroy anyone turning it off." I asked, "Have you been reading the stuff you write?" Funny enough for 3 a.m. Dex said calmly, "We can work this. In fact, we can tie it in pink ribbons and forget it. An electronics outfit in Pasadena makes an automatic scanning and logging system. Works off paper punch tape. We'll code the right poop, and the system will compare it with the actual raw data. Feedback will be to a master control servo that'll activate the heater or cooler. Now we need the right pickup." I snapped my fingers. "Variable resistor bridge. Couple of resistors equal at the right temperature. There'll be a frequency change with changing temperatures. Better than a thermocouple, I think." They looked at me as though I were butting in. "You've been reading too," Dex accused. "Okay, we'll use a temperature bulb. Trouble is, with this system, we better let it run continuously. That'll drive costs up." Hazel asked, "Can't we use the heat maybe to drive a compressor? The sudden expansion of air could cool the rest, Harry?" Harry hadn't had time to answer. "What'll this cost?" I snapped. "Roughly 15 to 18,000, Dex replied. "What?" With fine impartiality, they ignored me completely. Harry continued, as though without interruption. "Yes, I guess a compressor and coolant system could be arranged." We broke up at 6 a.m. I took one of my pills, frowning at the bottle. Seemed to be emptying fast. Sleepily, I shook the thought off and faced the new day, little knowing the opposition had managed to skizzle us again. The last displays were moons of Jupiter and Saturn. It was impossible to recreate tortured conditions of the planets themselves. Saturn's closest moon, Mimas, was picked. Our grand finale, landing on Mimas with Saturn rising spectacularly out of the east. Mimas is in the plane of the rings, so they couldn't be obvious. We'd show enough, however, to make it damned impressive, and explain it by libration of the satellite. The mechanics of realistically moving Saturn was rougher than a cob, and that's where the opposition fixed us. They claimed there wasn't enough drama in the tour. Let it end with a flash of light, a roar, and a meteor striking nearby. The roar came from us. Mimas had no atmosphere. How could the meteor sound off or burn up? We finally compromised, permitting the meteor to hit. We decided early the customers couldn't walk through. Mel first, Harry, then Dex, together produced an electric-powered, open runabout. The cart ran on treads in contact with skillfully hidden tracks for the current channel. A futuristic touch that, we'd say the cart ran on broadcast power. The power source provided cart headlights and made batteries unnecessary for the guide's walkie-talkie and the customer's helmet receivers. Mimas' last section of track was on a vibrating platform. The cart tripped a switch. When the meteor supposedly hit, the platform would drop and rise 3 inches, fast, twisting while it did. "Enough," Mel said grimly, "to shake the damn kishkas out of them." We cracked that one just in time for another. It began with Venus, as most of my problems had. We planned constant dust storms for Venus. Real quick, there'd be nothing left of the Bonestell's backgrounds but a blank wall from mechanical erosion. And how did we intend glass? Too easily scratched. Lord, another one. How will the half a buck customers be able to see inside? Glass in one of those silicon plastics? Better, but Harry beat it. Glass, plastic, and a boundary layer of cold air jetted down from the ceiling, in front of the background painting and back of the look-in window. I was glad, for lately Harry had begun to age. Thin and gray, he showed the strain, as did all of us. We were sitting in an administration office at the park. I now recognized the symptoms. When the GG had no real problems, its collective mind usually turned to my health. I wouldn't admit it, but I felt a little peaked. Hell, bone-tired, dog-weary pooped. Seemed every motion was effort, but soon it would end. The phone rang. With the message, it was ended. "Let's go, Grouseketeers." There was almost a pregnant pause. 6 months, conception of the idea to delivery of the finished product. 6 months, working together, fighting men, nature, and the perversity of inanimate objects. All of this now was done. No one moved. Frank verbalized it. "I'm scared." She sounded scared. "Better than being petrified, which I am," I answered. "But we might as well face it." We dragged over to the TS building, an impressive structure. The guide played it straight.